This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store Forged Irish Stout and Ready to Fight. Delighted to be joined with Caroline Dubois. We're back out, kicking off 2024, nice and active. Another defence of your IBO World Title. Excited to be back out there on a massive bill on Saturday night?
Yeah, I'm very excited. It's going to be a good night of boxing and a good night for the fans, and another good learning for me, hopefully.
And for yourself, when you're on these big cards, and I know you have headline cards, you want to be headlining cards, but does it feel good that, you know, at the top of the bill is an all-London clash, and it's really something that, you know, the whole of London can get out for, and all the eyes are on the main event and the card that follows?
Exactly. I think everyone that's going to come to this fight, they're interested in the whole show, and I think that's nice. You know, sometimes you have shows and it's like everyone wants to see the main, or everyone wants to see one or two people, but this one, the whole card is strong and legit.
And for yourself, kicking on from 2024 after 2023, probably a real breakout year for you, where you achieved a lot, got a world title, and now look on for big honours in 2024. Just looking back on the past on 2023, how much has that given you momentum for this year to really achieve big things?
Yeah, I think when I turned pro, I said to myself and I said to my team that I want to have the first year just learning and taking over and improving. The second year I want to go for world titles and kick on from there. And I think I've done that. You know, as soon as the first year was over, I put a lot of pressure on my team that I want big fights and I want big opportunities, and I feel like they have delivered. It's been really good so far, and I've been happy.
Well, I suppose we do have to talk about potentially what is next, and is it important in this fight that you don't overlook your opponent, because there is big things in the works for yourself. We know that you've got your spot in the IBF mandatory, so it's important that you can't overlook your opponent because of what may be next.
No, of course, as you said, you know, overlooking your opponent is never good, and there's nothing like slipping up when you didn't expect it. So I've trained and prepared well, and I think that's all I need, really.
And what you mentioned there about you really want the next year, sort of the first year to learn, second year to really attack world titles. Now you look at your position where you probably, if you do get through on Saturday, that you will be fighting for a world title in your next fight. And you look at your progression. With that being said, been successful so far, knowing that you're in a really good position for a world title? Yeah,
definitely. It's very nice to see where I'm at. You know, when I check the box rec, when I check the rankings, I'm on the list, and that's really nice to see. And I think it's only a matter of time before I enter the pound for pound list, but you know, I have to take each step as they come and just keep beating who's put in front of me.
Is there a little bit of a disappointment that this fight isn't for a world title? I know that they were looking at it, and I know you wanted it for a world title, but it is for, I mean, you know, a main 4 world title. Is there a little bit of a disappointment there for you?
Yeah, it was very disappointing. We worked, there was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes to try and secure this fight, make this fight for world title, but obviously that fell through. And it was a good learning for me, because it showed me the other side of boxing that we don't see. You know, we just see the people step in the ring, and I've been experiencing just stepping in the ring. But now I know about the political sides of, you know, not Matchroom, but like different promoters and different organisations, how they can actually disrupt you and put spanners in the work and like change your dreams and your imagination. But it's all good.
Well, I suppose what you are alluding to there is the talk about Rhiannon Dixon fight. That was ordered and it didn't happen. I mean, a minute where people see that a boxer fighter and a matchroom fighter have obviously been ordered to fight each other. They know sort of from what's happened previously, and you see now with the politics of the sport, it must be frustrating for you when yourself and Rhiannon would have been a good domestic fight that I suppose it isn't looking like it's happening now.
No, of course. I mean, it would have been a great fight, a very good fight, and I think we're both at the level where it would have been good learning for us both. But look, it's not happening, so it is what it is.
And you say there, does it open your eyes a little bit to the politics in boxing, where realistically for you it can be as simple as just getting in the ring and fighting, but it isn't always like that. You know, fighters are held back from certain outside promotions and this and that and all the politics, so it must be frustrating when you're getting held back from fights that you want because of sort of other activities that aren't even your fault.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, all we can do is step in the ring. I think if boxing was run by boxers, it would just be step in the ring, there'll be one belt, and there would just be people fighting each other for it. But that's not what it is, and it's a business at the end of the day. And the promoters only care about their fighters. So Matchroom only care about Matchroom fighters, and they're going to do the best for Matchroom fighters. Sky only cares about Sky. They only care about, you know, Sky fighters, and they're going to do the best for Sky fighters. Top Rank, ESPN, PBC, all these other organizations, they all run the same way. So, you know, if I'm not in a plan of some other organisation, I'm not in that plan. So yeah.
Well, I suppose with it not being Rhiannon Dixon, another name that has come up is not a name that has been sort of when they're talking about Caroline Dubois, especially on the Matchroom side, they're always talking about Beautriz Ferriera. Would you say that that is a likely fight? Obviously, the Dixon fight didn't happen, and she's a Matchroom. And do you feel like it's likely that we could see Ferreira? Because she's obviously called you out before. Hearn's talked about wanting the fight. I suppose, is that something that you would be interested in?
Definitely. I want the big fights and I want the best fights. I think that fight is an elite fight, you know, that is the definition of the best fight, the best. And I genuinely feel like in this division, 135, me, Beautriz, and maybe Katie Taylor, she comes back down, we're the best in this division, that's how I feel. But I feel like it's early for one, and if it does happen, I'd want the correct money for it. And I feel like it's bigger if she goes to the Olympics and comes back. And I think it's a bigger fight if she goes and wins a world title, I go off and win a world title, and we have a unification down the line. I think that would be massive. And it would be a shame having to fight Beautriz and then go back down and fight someone like Rhiannon Dixon, who I think Beautriz is way better. But if that's a fight to be made, that's a fight to be made. And if the money is the right, I'll step in the ring with that. And I genuinely believe I'll win.
Yeah, of course. And it's interesting you say that, because I did hear that Beautriz was going to the Olympics and there was all this stuff. So realistically, you don't think that would probably be next, like down the line, let it build, is what you're saying?
Exactly. I think it makes more sense, you know. Imagine her going to the Olympics or getting a world title in between, coming back, having a massive unification with Caroline Dubois. That's a headliner. That's the main event, and I think it'll be a big fight. And I think, like I said, me, her, and Kate Taylor, she comes back down, are the best in this division.
Absolutely. Caroline, just want to say thank you for taking time to speak to me. Good to catch up with you. Appreciate it as always. And yeah, all the best for Saturday, and I'm sure it'll be another explosive performance. Thank you. Cheers.
We need to think of a new advert for freebets.com.
Get your best betting offers from freebets.com.
Yeah, that'll do.
The following deals are now live.